It was Hyuju's car that drew attention, while the Royal Guard vehicles were far from the accident site and cameras. We also learn that Hyuju lost consciousness, but tests confirm she's fine. Unfortunately, the Queen overhears their conversation. She becomes furious, burning with rage, when she learns that Hyuju was behind this disaster from the beginning. In extreme anger, she storms toward Hyuju's room, intending to humiliate her in the hospital, but Mr. Lee blocks her path and advises her not to enter. Right now, people believe Hyuju's car was involved in the accident. The Crown Prince was with her, and Prince Leon was injured while saving them after a reckless traffic violation. If the full details leak, the Crown Prince will bear all the blame, causing a real royal scandal, and unpredictable consequences could follow. He assures her that everything he's doing is a cover-up to protect the palace's reputation and her personal interests above all else. Meanwhile, we see Choi and the maid standing outside the operating room, nearly losing their minds with worry for Prince Leon. The doctor comes out and reassures them that the surgery was successful and that within an hour at most, he will be transferred to his room. He confirms that his arm is fine with no fractures, just a minor injury. After that, Mr. Lee leaves and asks Choi to increase the security in front of Hyuju's room because he's worried about her, and he insists that he be informed immediately when she wakes up. Meanwhile, Crown Prince regains consciousness. The first thing on his mind is Hyuju. His feet carry him straight to her room. He stands in front of her, recalling the moment of the accident, how she protected him and cared more about him than herself. The moment he approaches and touches her hand, she wakes up quickly, forgetting her pain. She panics when she remembers the accident, fearing he might have been hurt. He keeps apologizing because he insisted on taking the car out, which caused the disaster. They reassure each other that they're both fine, but suddenly, she remembers Prince Leon and asks about him. He smiles and tells her that, unlike her, he didn't lose consciousness. He went straight into surgery. The moment Hyuju hears that Prince Leon was injured, she rushes to his room. She starts scolding him for saving her and hurting himself. She leans close to his face and jokes that there's nothing special about him except his face, teasing him to lighten the tension. Honestly, he is very gentle with her, to the point that she tells him he treats her as if he truly loves her and has fallen for her. He laughs at her words, but it's clear that he really has fallen in love with her. The next day, we see Tuiju and his wife training to match her new status. Suddenly, he receives a call from his father, telling him about the disaster Hyuju caused. He quickly turns on the TV and sees the news everywhere about Hyuju, the owner of Castle Beauty, who was driving at high speed, while the police are still investigating. When Taiju hears this, he loses his mind, takes his wife, and rushes to meet his father. At the hospital, the secretary appears trying to enter Hyuju's room, but the guards stop her until Hyuju comes out and takes her inside, saying she belongs with her. There, secretary shows her the disaster caused by the accident. Her company's shares plummeted within just 3 minutes, and the board of directors is tense and demanding to meet her as soon as she leaves the hospital. Hyuju ignores everything she says and feels upset that her father and brother learned the news, but no one asked about her or checked on her. The secretary gets angry in her usual dramatic way, repeatedly questioning how the accident happened and accusing her of being drunk. Hyuju explains that the brakes had failed and that the Crown Prince was with her, which is why the investigation must remain confidential, and no one, not even the press, should know. The secretary loses it, jumping around from stress, telling her that she got herself into this marriage from the start. Ever since the Prince Leon entered her life, everything has been turned upside down. Every day brings a new disaster, from being pelted with eggs to being accused of setting the palace on fire, and now she almost died. Hyuju responds that the Prince Leon saved her life. The secretary gets annoyed by this repeated line and says she talks as if they love each other, when in reality, she'll divorce him after 3 years because it's a marriage of convenience. Unfortunately, Mr. Lee enters by chance and overhears everything. He discovers that Hyuju is marrying the Prince Leon not out of love as she made him believe. He confronts her, and she admits that it's a mutually beneficial marriage, an exchange of interests. She even proposed to him 3 times, and he refused every time. She reminds him that she has everything: money, talent, ambition, but lacks status. The Prime Minister, Mr. Lee, sits beside her and tells her that if she's marrying a Prince Leon just for status, then it would be better for her to marry him instead. The next day, Hyuju enters the Prince Leon's room, but is shocked to find he has already left the hospital without telling her. She tries calling him, but he doesn't answer. She starts to feel that their marriage won't last. The secretary tells her that she saw him early in the morning, standing outside her room, when Mr. Lee was with her. She asks if he said anything. Hoo-joo recalls Mr. Lee's words, and suspects that he must have overheard their conversation, which is why he's not responding. She screams in shock, but the bigger shock is that the Prince Leon ordered the servants to throw her out of the royal suite and return all her belongings. Even the card in his name was taken back. She leaves the palace, unable to stand herself, still calling him, but he doesn't answer. The surprise comes when we learn that he did hear her talking to Mr. Lee, saying that the marriage was purely for benefit and social status. He is deeply hurt and gets off at the first stop. Hyo-ju sends him a message asking him to face her directly instead of playing games. She goes to the palace and confronts him, asking how he could leave the hospital without telling her and then throw her out. She suspects the queen is behind it, or that he overheard her conversation with Mr. Lee. He tells her that the accident was deliberate, that someone intended to kill her, and because of that, he will change the plan and cancel their marriage. She is shocked and asks how he could cancel it. She insists that the queen must be the reason, and reminds him that the crown prince insisted on riding with her. It wasn't her fault. If the accident was intentional, then she is the victim, but he responds with words like poison, saying he cannot marry someone like her who breaks rules and threatens the throne with her problems. Hearing this, Hoo-joo feels truly hurt and broken, but she maintains her pride in front of him. After that, we see Tae-ju sitting with his father, provoking him against Hoo-joo. He shows him details of the accident, claiming she was driving recklessly at high speed and must have been under the influence, blaming her for her relationship with the Prince Leon and for the company's falling shares, warning that the company could collapse at any moment. At that moment, Hoo-joo enters and finds them speaking badly about her. Calmly, she tells them she will soon release an official statement revealing the truth, confirming that substances have nothing to do with what happened. Her father shocks her by revealing that he knows the Prince Leon threw her out of the palace, used her, and then abandoned her. She becomes furious that he has someone following her, but calmly replies that she also used him. The company's shares skyrocketed as soon as news of their marriage spread. She adds angrily that there's nothing wrong if the shares drop a little after all the profit they made. Before leaving, she tells him to call her next time, instead of summoning her repeatedly. Then she leaves and calls the secretary, ordering her to find the last mechanic who worked on her car. At the palace, we see Choi, with the Prince Leon, confused about why he suddenly broke off with Hyo-joo and canceled their engagement. Leon hesitates, then says he was afraid for her. He recalls his mother's death in a car accident and Mr. Lee's words that this accident was deliberate and her car was tampered with. He was advised to keep her away from the palace to ensure her safety. Coming out of his thoughts, he tells Choi that he must prepare a farewell gift worthy of her status. The next day, Hoo-joo is surprised when Choi arrives with an invitation to a royal event, the royal banquet. It is a very important occasion. He presents her with an expensive dress sent by the Prince Leon, specifically for her to wear. He informs her that she must not wear white because the queen is the only one who wears it. Choi reminds her that attending the banquet will open many royal invitations for her, boost her business, and confirm that their relationship has not ended. Strangely, after all that, Hoo-joo refuses to attend. She tells him the marriage is over, so there's no reason for her to go. Choi returns to the palace and tells the Prince Leon what Hoo-joo said, that she almost threw him out after he begged her to attend, but she firmly refused. Later, the queen sits with the prince and asks about the fate of his relationship with Hoo-joo, especially after hearing he expelled her from the royal suite. He tells her he did it to protect her, and that he has decided to proceed with the marriage, on one condition, that she personally invites Hoo-joo to the royal banquet, because he doesn't want her to suffer after their separation. From that day on, every time the Prince Leon sends for her, she refuses, to the point that he starts thinking she has gone mad. Choi tells him she has every right. She doesn't want any connection with him after he left her midway and walked away. After that, we see the secretary calling Hyo-joo, telling her that she tracked down the mechanic and managed to get information about him, but unfortunately, she found no criminal record on him. Hyo-joo immediately uses her intelligence and asks her to check the surveillance camera of the supermarket across from the workshop. As soon as the call ends, Hyo-joo receives a message from the Prince Leon asking to meet her. She goes to meet him, and he asks in confusion why she's afraid to attend the banquet when he has prepared everything for her, her outfit, her appearance, even etiquette lessons. She looks at him and says, "Didn't you say I bring trouble everywhere I go and cause disasters? Then why are you insisting I attend the banquet?" The Prince Leon gets upset and tells her he's protecting her, especially since they're not even married yet, and all this has already happened. So what more could happen if they actually got married? She stands up and calls him a coward. Suddenly, she grabs an arrow and says sarcastically, "Looks like you love cats. Maybe you should try protecting them." Before she can shoot, he rushes forward, snatches the arrow from her, and ends up injuring his hand. He gets angry and tells her she must be crazy. She grabs his hand and tells him that to protect someone, you have to attack and resist. All she has seen from him is submission, and that's why he keeps losing to people beneath him. She tells him that what she wanted from him wasn't just status. He needs to fight and struggle to reach his goals. At that moment, we see the company's team monitoring surveillance cameras, trying to locate the mechanic. They finally spot him in one of the cameras and discover that he paid using the Castle Card app. The real shock is that Hyuju's father is responsible for that company. Later, we see Mr. Lee standing under the moonlight, remembering Hyuju's words when he proposed to her. We learn she rejected him because his term of authority is only 5 years, and even if the Prince Leon divorces her, he will still remain a Prince Leon from the royal family. But Mr. Lee's situation is different. He would need to serve another term. It becomes clear that she calculated everything carefully, valuing benefit over emotions. On the last day, the Prince Leon calls Hyuju and asks her to attend the banquet because it's in her best interest. She apologizes for not intending to hurt him or the cats. He also apologizes for not being able to keep his promise to her. The next day at the company, Choi is overjoyed that Hyuju will attend the banquet. He keeps explaining everything in detail about the banquet protocol. He tells her that every guest has an official rank in the royal court, and that rank determines where they sit based on social hierarchy. He continues explaining that the banquet is divided into 2 parts. The first part is a smaller gathering, where the queen meets the guests and gets acquainted with them. The second part is a grand event called the after banquet, attended by guests' partners, cabinet members, and senior royal family members, much larger and more luxurious. However, he informs her that she has no official rank, since she is neither a government official nor a noble, which means she will sit at the back of the hall, always in the last row. Hyuju laughs and says, "So if I were already married, I'd be sitting in the front row by now?" A few days later, preparations for the banquet begin. The queen is very happy because Hyuju is not attending, or so she thinks. Suddenly, without warning, Hyuju appears in front of her, wearing a modern, elegant white suit, breaking all the rules and protocols as if challenging her. The queen is furious, but holds herself back. She decides to walk outside with the noblewomen, and when she notices Hyuju is uncomfortable under the sun, she takes advantage of it, forcing her to walk a long distance in the heat to remind her she is still second class. Suddenly, everyone is surprised when the Prince Leon himself approaches Hyuju. He asks her to teach him how to lead the way and promises that he will no longer submit to anyone and will fight alongside her with all his strength. They walk together with dignity in front of everyone. Later, Hyuju prepares for the grand event, wearing a stunning dress with the help of the maid. The Prince Leon waits nervously for her, like someone awaiting exam results. The moment he sees her, he is completely stunned by her beauty. At the same time, Crown Prince Yan prepares for the banquet. Although the queen asked him not to attend, he insists on being there to crush anyone who might try to ruin the celebration. Meanwhile, the queen enters the banquet elegantly dressed, accompanied by Minister Mr. Lee. She selects a noble girl and hints to Mr. Lee that this girl is suitable for the Prince Leon, as if trying to control everything, and implying that Hyuju is just a guest who will soon leave. As the banquet begins, Prince Leon enters in his formal attire, looking like a movie star, holding Hyuju's hand. She wears a breathtaking dress, like Cinderella. Everyone is mesmerized by their beauty and elegance. They begin their first dance together. In the middle of the dance, in a romantic move, the Prince Leon surprises everyone. He kneels on one knee and proposes to her in front of everyone using his mother, Queen Hyun's ring. Hyuju can hardly believe it from the overwhelming joy as she puts on the ring. But the Prince Leon doesn't stop there. He takes her hand and goes to the Crown Prince Yan, asking him to bless their marriage. The queen rushes like a madwoman to stop Yan and make him refuse, but Crown Prince Yan stands and announces his approval, blessing the marriage in front of the press cameras, capturing